Well, Sandy and Dave, we're still looking again at that red flag warning and a few other watches and advisories out there. We have a very moist air mass sitting overhead and it's unstable. So as a result, that mixed in with the warmth, it's not as hot as it was, but we still do have some heat out there, is actually prompting instability and several thunderstorms in the area. As we get a look out from our Blue Ridge camera, you're going to see a little bit of cloud cover out here, potentially a few drops of rain as well. You'll see upward development right there with this cloud top. Doesn't look like we're going to see much from that, but we are looking at several thunderheads out there, and as a result, we're looking at lightning, thunder, potential hail, and very gusty winds in the area as well. Let's go through the warnings right now, and as we do, you're going to see a red flag warning. That's going to stay in effect for the LA County Mountains and the Antelope Valley, staying in effect through 5 o'clock this evening. We've got a flash flood warning and a flood advisory now in effect for most of San Bernardino County, and as we take it over to the Coachella Valley, we still have a flash flood watch. Giving you a look at the big picture on radar spanning from Vegas all the way here to the desert. We're looking at lots of thunderstorm activity. We saw a lot of this closer to Palm Springs, starting to move away from us, but we're going to continue to track it for you and your extended forecast in just a little bit. Dave and Sandy, back to you.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, this series is just driving me nuts.
It's tough on Dodgers fans.
It is tough. We had a rough game. Hopefully tonight we'll make a comeback. All right. Well, tonight, perfect weather for the game. Perfect game night weather, with the exception of the thunderstorms, which shouldn't be taking place over the stadium tonight. So that's good news. But we've got thunderstorms in the forecast right now. Lots to talk about. Want to get outside? We've got some great time lapse, some vertical motion. So as the clouds started building up, that meant, well, potential thunderstorms, which we did see. So you'll see a break in the clouds again. Time-lapse video, of course, is not taking place in real time right now. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to take you right now, and as we do, temperature is still quite warm right here at the broadcast center. We're in the 80s, not quite as warm as where we've been. We've got lots of warnings, advisories, and watches to discuss with you. First and foremost, a red flag warning. That's in effect through 5 o'clock for the LA County Mountains and the Antelope Valley. The next thing on our list, that flood advisory, along with a flash flood watch right behind it for San Bernardino County right there. And as we head over to the Coachella Valley, still looking at a flash flood watch. No surprise, because we've seen very severe storm cells sitting overhead. For the most part, this particular cell right here actually was spanning from Palm Springs all the way to Las Vegas. It's starting to move out of the forecast area a little bit. Earlier today, we did see some of that. We saw thunder, lightning, several, in fact, dozens of lightning strikes, hail associated with that as well, and very strong winds. Those wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, so very damaging winds out there. As we get a look at radar right now, you're going to see the brunt of the storms have moved eastward, even though we are looking at just a few thunderstorms right there just south of Palm Springs, actually spanning into San Diego County. As we get a look right here, you'll see just that, the red on your screen indicating some potential downpours and thunderstorms. But other than that, we're starting to look at calmer conditions as we head into the next few hours. Still under the red flag warning, though, we could potentially see dry lightning over the mountains and possibly over the Antelope Valley, so our watch isn't down yet. You'll see 91 degrees in Palmdale right now, 82 in Downey, PV 70, Laguna Beach 74, and Riverside you're at a warm 89 degrees. Expecting to get a little warmer, so we're going to have those forecast highs coming up for you in about an hour or so. You'll see for the valleys in the Inland Empire over the next few days, though, 90s turning to upper 80s by your Friday. That's something we haven't said for our inland spots for quite a while. By Saturday and Sunday, looking at low 90s. As we get a look at one more 5-day forecast for you this afternoon for the Basin and for Orange County, we were in the 90s. Now we're in the 80s, keeping things that way. And by Friday and Saturday, potentially looking at upper 70s. So temperatures are going from above average to finally below average. Sandy and Dave, back to you.
All right.
Evelyn?
Absolutely. We've seen a few and could expect to see a few more, possibly even a few dry lightning strikes over the mountains. We do have that red flag warning in effect through 5 o'clock. That's for the LA County Mountains, along with the Antelope Valley as well. We've got a flood advisory in effect as well, a flash flood warning, and same thing goes right there for the Coachella Valley as well, San Bernardino County, and the majority of our local mountains affected by watches, warnings, or advisories at the moment. As we get a look at those thunderstorm cells, well, the brunt of the activity has moved east, so that's good news for us, starting to head toward the California, well, Nevada border right there. Other than that, though, we're still eyeing possibly a few thunderstorm cells. Looks like over the 10 right there, closer to Palm Springs, we are dealing with a little bit of rain and possibly a few severe cells right there. Other than that, it does look calm thunderstorm-wise, but we could see a few more develop over the next couple of hours as temperatures continue to stay warm. 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s as well out there right now. We'll have the rest of your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Sandra, back to you.
Right, Evelyn, we'll see the forecast. And Evelyn, you've been busy tracking some of those thunderstorms.
Yes, so busy doing that. I can't get over that video, but
She'll be good.
it's okay. I know, right? Encore, encore. But yes, let's get back to the thunderstorms. And with that, yes, we've been tracking those. We've got watches, we've got warnings out there. Still tracking a few cells, but the brunt of it, well, starting to move out of the forecast area, so that's good news. But we still have a little mountains in the Antelope Valley through 5 o'clock this evening. We still have that flood advisory and the flash flood warning in effect as well, along with that flash flood watch in effect for the Coachella Valley. So this is for the San Bernardino County Mountains, parts of the IE right there, and the Antelope Valley, along with the LA County Mountains, all under watches, warnings, or advisories. As we get a look at the big picture, pretty impressive how much moisture we have out there and how many thunderstorms we have out there as well. The brunt of the activity, though, already starting to move out of the forecast area toward the California-Nevada border right there. Earlier today, though, we did see thunderstorms spanning from Las Vegas all the way to Palm Springs, but right now we're just looking at a few cells sitting over the 10, nothing compared to where we were a little earlier this afternoon. Temperatures right now in the 70s, 80s, 90s, still waiting for the official forecast highs to come down, but does look like we stayed out of the triple digits for the most part today. 91 in Palmdale, 84 in Valencia, 80 in Downey, and 71 degrees. That's for PV at the coast as we speak. Low pressure is making its way into Southern California. That cutoff low actually brought us the thunderstorms, that red flag warning against several of them, a couple of them actually still in effect. There's still that chance for dry lightning in the area, and of course that combined with the heat wave that we've seen and all the dry fuel out there making for potential conditions, fire conditions out there. Flood advisories and warnings still in effect, and a cool down still technically in effect as well as we head into the next few days. Let's get a look at that extended forecast. We'll take you to the valleys in the Inland Empire. 90s turning to 80s, back up to 90s by the weekend. As we get a look at another 5-day forecast, you're going to see a similar pattern where we're a little cooler and we're cooling down a little more so, and then picking up temperatures by a couple degrees as we head toward the weekend. You'll see that right here for the Basin and Orange County. 80s turning to 70s, back up to the 80s by your Sunday. Sandy, back to you. We have a few updates for you. That red flag warning was just canceled, but that doesn't mean that there isn't fire danger out there or a chance of thunderstorms or even dry lightning. So we're going to continue to keep our eye out on that. As we get a look outside right now from our Blue Ridge camera, you're going to see pretty nice conditions out there, looking very calm in this shot, but off in the distance, a little bit of haze, a little bit of low cloud cover, and a little bit of cloud cover overall over the mountains and the high desert. That's where we've seen some of those thunderstorms earlier today. As a result, we still do have that flood advisory that's in effect, and a flash flood warning in effect through this afternoon and through the evening hours. A flash flood watch also in effect for the Coachella Valley. We did have a red flag warning, which was supposed to stay in effect through 5 o'clock, but it was just canceled. We did not see as much activity over the mountains and over the Antelope Valley as we originally anticipated. So things are starting to wind down a little bit for us there. As we get a look at radar, though, a very impressive shot as we get a look at the big picture right here. You're going to see a lot of thunderstorm activity, but the majority of it has moved eastward, so closer to Nevada at this point, even though we did see some thunderstorms over the desert earlier today. We're going to continue to track these storms and, of course, your extended forecast. That's all coming up in a little bit. Lena and Sylvia, back to you. Certainly a chance, and that's something we're concerned about. And why don't we go straight to satellite radar? We're going to move over to the other side of the country. Things looking great here at home in that shot. But as we take you over, well, you'll see right here, close to Florida right here, we're just looking at a few scattered thunderstorms. But Isaac is still sitting well offshore. It's a tropical storm right now, but eventually becoming a hurricane, and looks like it could potentially make landfall in South Florida between Sunday night and Monday morning on either side of South Florida right there. Tampa, there is a chance that could get hit, and that certainly wouldn't be a good thing for the GOP convention. But at this point, the chances aren't looking too high. We're talking maybe about 5%. So there's a little chance out there, not a significant chance. Actually, it's been almost a century, exactly 90 years since Tampa's been hit by a significant hurricane. Charlie came close in 94, but not quite hitting in Tampa, a little south of Tampa there. So we're going to continue to track Isaac for you. We're also tracking our local forecast here at home. We no longer have that red flag warning. That expired expired. It was set to expire at 5, but conditions have been fairly calm. You'll see a flood advisory and a flash flood warning in effect. Also, a flood watch and a flash flood advisory in effect for the Coachella Valley. This is for the San Bernardino County and Riverside County mountains. There is potential runoff from all of the thunderstorms we've seen earlier in the afternoon. Still a little bit of activity out there, but for the most part it has moved east, so things are starting to calm down a little bit for us this evening. Temperature is starting to come down a little bit as well. We were a little cooler today compared to where we've been, and we've got a little more cooling to do. Of course, we're going to have more on that coming up in just a little bit. For now, though, still keeping our eye on the storm sitting to the east, but here at home, just looking at a few, well, cells, nothing too severe, at least not at this point. Lena and Sylvia, back to you.
All right, thanks, Evelyn.
And Lena, we still actually have a few advisories and watches out there as well. A flood advisory and a flash flood warning still in effect for San Bernardino and Riverside County mountains, for the Coachella Valley, flash flood watch, and a flash flood advisory. That's in effect because we have seen those thunderstorms, so basically just looking at a little bit of runoff from that. As we get a look at the big picture on radar, most of the storms have moved east at this point. We are looking at maybe just a few leftover thunderstorms, and with that, just want to give you a quick look at your extended forecast. You'll see right here 80s turning to